everyone. Welcome back. It is the Friday Free for All. It has been one hell of a week. It's Friday, so I want to do shotgun with you guys. Get your questions in right now. We're going to go back and forth on our questions, comments. Not my 30-minute monologue. We're going to just have a blast with what's going on. What a week. I tell you what, I want you to listen to this and tell me who he's describing.
There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the street.
Yeah, political and public figures all but calling for mass rioting and violence in this. That sounds like every fucking Democrat I've heard. They are the party of complete victimology. They're always victim, and then they project and blame everyone else for what they're doing. That is right out of the communist playbook. Now, that's strike one. Strike two, well, this is the Horse's Ass Award, the coveted silver sphincter of the horse's ass. And you're never going to guess who has earned this one today. Oh, get your questions, your guesses in. And there it is. The coveted Horse's Ass Award goes to none other than Serena Williams. That's right. Famous, wealthy, athletic tennis star Serena Williams. She is complaining and sniveling and wiping. Needs to wipe her fucking nose. Whining that there was a cotton plant at the luxury hotel she was staying at, and it made her uncomfortable. She's worth $350 million, and Serena Williams feels uncomfortable because of a decorative plant. By the way, Serena Williams is black, in case you didn't know that. This stupid rich bitch complains about a cotton plant, a decorative cotton plant used as decoration. But I bet this stupid bitch has cotton towels, cotton sheets, cotton shirts, socks, etc., 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 etc. What a see you next Tuesday. Sniveling for social media to get more likes. As if she was forced to pick cotton as a slave. Well, but this bitch has no problem using real slave labor and benefiting from real slave labor that makes her athletic clothing in China, Indonesia, and other nations. Fucking whining hypocrite and general all-around asshole playing the fucking race card. My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents might have been slaves, might have picked cotton. So sick of the fucking constant victimization from a fucking bitch with $350 million. Democrats out there complaining that people are all but calling for violence in the streets. It's fucking Democrats. Right? It's fucking transgender idiots. They can't decide through gender studies what their fucking gender is. Then they cut off their genitals, get mad, and blame the rest of the world for it, and then threaten violence. Yeah, I don't see the problem there. Good golly, I tell you. These just... And they're not going to get any smarter, folks. They're not. Dan Bongino, FBI, big mouth, bullshit artist Dan Bongino. We made promises that we're going to hold people accountable because there is an indictment against James Comey. Traitorous sack of shit former FBI director. Folks, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, the FBI, none of them did this indictment. Know who did the indictment? A grand jury. A grand jury dug up the information, looked at the information, and issued an indictment. Not Pam Bondi, not Kash Patel, and not Dan Bongino. They didn't do a fucking thing, and they haven't done a fucking thing. And he jumps right out there and we're gonna hold these people accountable. Fucking jerk offs. Okay, they didn't arrest him. They did not arrest. It's an indictment. They didn't arrest anybody. They didn't put fucking handcuffs on him. They didn't haul him into jail. They didn't fingerprint him and get mugshots. He may or may not even go to court, folks. No, the prosecuting attorney could throw it out. Oh, by the way, the fucking judge assigned to the case, guess who he worked for? James Comey. He should instantly recuse himself, but don't worry, this is Washington, D.C., land of lunatics and knob gobblers galore. He could throw the fucking case out. He could sit up there and just bang his gavel, inadmissible, 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 inadmissible. And then, if they were to go to trial, and I doubt they will, if they're to go to trial, and I doubt they will, even if he's found guilty of some crime, and I doubt they will, where are you going to find 12 Republicans to sit in a jury? Every fucking Democrat is going to go, nope, jury nullification. We like James Comey, and we don't care how many fucking laws he broke. We're going to find him not guilty. The best they can hope for is a fucking hung jury. And if they did, by some fucking miracle, find him guilty, he's going to file an appeal instantly. The fucking man is not going to see a minute behind bars. Uman says he's supposed to self-surrender. A 3 a.m. raid would have been nice. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Hey, Roger Stone got over a dozen armed agents sticking fully automatic weapons in his face at his house, with CNN across the lawn filming. News at 11. They show up at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's palatial mansion in fucking Florida. FBI, not go ahead and just show up and we'll arraign you. No, FBI shows up at his place, fully automatic weapons with instructions to shoot to kill anyone that interferes because they're dangerous. It's a fucking joke, everybody. I did, however, did I actually win the beer bet that we made yesterday, you man? I wanted 1 to 100. I can't remember. Was it arrested or that they'd actually indict somebody? I don't know. Anyways, we'll just have to have a beer anyways. It's a joke. Okay, what do you guys want to talk about? What's on your mind today? Get the questions into Uman. It's the Friday free for all, and I want to go back and forth with you. I really do. I really do. We got lots to discuss, and I want to know what's on your mind. What's on your mind out there? Oh, man, who shall be first? And it is Mikey G. He says, howdy, folks. China's suffering under a super typhoon, and they blame the USA using weather modification. Well, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't be surprised that it's the United States of America using weather modification. I wouldn't be surprised if it's China using weather modification on itself to blame the USA for using weather modification. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't Israel using weather modification on China to blame the United States of America for using weather modification to create more tension and strife. You see, when you move away from conventional warfare, you start playing these fucking games where you can't prove anything they say. Oh, I tell you. Absolutely, folks. Super typhoon. Government can't be trusted. No government can be trusted. You can't even trust a fucking school board to hire real teachers. You can't trust an HOA to follow the fucking rules and leave people alone. Up and down, one side and the other, you got a bunch of little idiots with Napoleon complex. All right, folks. The FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, says it lacks the tools to counter the rising transgender terrorism. Oh, really? How come we keep finding out that these mass killers have FBI handlers, or the FBI had them on their radar. They quit saying that one because it's starting to look really fucking stupid, right? Well, we were looking at them and we let them go. I mean, what could go wrong giving hormones that makes one's emotions erratic, out of balance, and then combining that with out of balance testosterone levels, and combining that with the SSRI antidepressants? What could possibly go wrong? Maybe men with lipstick guns and indoctrination. Well, I guess they can be violent as a response to their feelings being hurt. You hurt my feelings, right? What could go wrong? And the FBI is claiming they don't have the tools to counter it. Do we all know the fucking answer to this, man? Yeah, I'll tell you the fucking answer. You go arrest a fucking group of them. You get a search warrant because someone said something violent. You search their fucking emails. You go into their accounts. And you find out what they're talking about and discover there's a whole group of them conspiring violence, talking a bunch of shit. And eventually one of them will go shoot an ICE agent or children at a church or children at a school. It's just like any other crime. You find evidence of a crime, threats. These people threaten all the time. See, I'm not even proposing you just throw out the 4th and 5th Amendment and just fucking tap their phones and start listening. There's enough evidence out there. And then you arrest it. You arrest that group and every member in it. You know, kind of like the group that was planning on kidnapping Governor Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. Oh my God. The FBI was right there to catch him. Oh, wait. The FBI had what? Well, they had agents provocateur that joined the idiot group, and that agent provocateur started giving them the great ideas like, well, kidnapping the governor. I'm sure there's enough homosexual FBI agents out there that could pretend to be trans, put some rouge on their cheeks, tuck their little dick between their legs, and join one of these trans shooting clubs and go in there and find out who's the one promoting violence. But they say they lack the tools. Yeah, the only tool that they lack is a dick and balls. Yeah, they're lacking the real man tools. I am fucking excuses these people make. Fucking excuses. They've got plenty of tools to go shoot up a Christian church in Waco, Texas. They got plenty of tools to catch one man, not a group, not a violent group, not a threateningly violent group, known for mass murder, but one man, Randy Weaver, and go shoot his infant son and his wife and his dog. Murder in cold blood because, well, the barrel of a shotgun was short. Literally. Fuck the FBI, folks. They're a joke. A literal joke. And the joke's on us. Because for 5 minutes, we fucking believed they were going to do their jobs like real human beings. But they aren't. They're fucking sellouts. They are. The same way every cop in England is selling out his country, his countrymen, and allowing a bunch of Pakistani, a bunch of Hindi, and a bunch of other pieces of shit to rape little girls and get away with it. They're sellouts. The FBI is a sellout organization, and they're selling us out, and they're happy about it. They're liking it. All right, my turn is up, Mr. Uman. Kapow! Who's next? Right? And it's Chin Music. He says, yeah, they can take on, let me start again. Yeah, they can take CNN. Oh, wait, the shitbag media isn't interested. They should invite Alex Jones just to rub it in. I don't know how to respond to this. The mainstream media, they're sellouts. Isn't it amazing? They're all fucking sellouts. The media, colleges, teachers, the FBI, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, all of Washington, D.C. None of them are interested in law and order. All they're interested in is enriching themselves and having power and authority over others, pretending to be important. They're a bunch of fucking losers. CNN. I think I had something on the mainstream media. I don't know. They'll repeat anything Trump says, and then attack it. So Trump talks. The media replays it ad nauseum to piss off their people. The Trump derangement syndrome kicks in, and they start gulping Tylenol. Even pregnant women, because their derangement syndrome is so fucking stupid. The media is part of it. And there's never been more people hospitalized with toxic poisoning and other issues from swallowing a shit pile of fucking acetaminophen. This is where we're at, folks. Nobody in government or media is interested in justice or truth or facts. It's all lies. It really is. I'm really, at this point, disenchanted with what's going on. I need a break. I'm going to take tomorrow off, probably do some shopping, put some tuna fish in some Spam, put it away, and just take a fucking break from all this insanity. Really. I mean, Woman says, I asked the question before. Is the Democrat Party running the mainstream media, or is the mainstream media running the Democrat Party? It almost seems I don't know if there's a difference between politics and mainstream media, except one doesn't get to vote in Congress. I mean, it cracks me up that the media thinks they have a right to be in the White House press corps and that they have a right to be on Air Force One when the president goes somewhere. They actually don't. That was a fucking courtesy that was granted, and it should be revoked. If Trump wasn't such a attention-starved guy who wants to constantly be in front of the media, it would be nice if he threw him off the fucking plane. Maybe they wouldn't have leaks all over the place if they didn't have fucking media all over the place. But speaking of media not doing its fucking job, today Senator Richard Blumenthal sent a warning to Republicans. Does anyone know who Senator Blumenthal is? This asshole is a stolen valor scumbag. Likes to pretend he served in Vietnam when he didn't. He's warning Republicans because James Comey has been indicted. You know what his quote is? What goes around comes around. Take that to heart, folks. Understand it. If Democrats get authority over the country, all of us are at risk. If you live in a Democrat city, county, or state, whether Trump is president or not, there's a good chance that what goes around is going to come around. Do you think they're going to punish Trump? They can't. He's too rich. He's too powerful. He's in charge of the government currently. They can come after us, though, lickety-split. So Blumenthal is warning what goes around comes around, right? Well, it's now coming around. And it would be nice to see criminals in politics face the penalties, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. But don't count on it. And by the way, Richard, Dick, blow them all. Fuck you. That's where my patience level is at with these people. I just made that name up for him. Richard Dick, and then Blumenthal, Blowmenall. Yeah, Dick Blowmenall. That's his name. That's a good one, huh, Moo Man? I'm very fucking creative today. Yeah, what goes around comes around. After the Comey indictment. Right. By the way, Roger Stone is very upset that there was no pre-dawn raid. Very upset. James Comey is going to be arraigned on October 7th. October 9th. Today is September 26th. September 26th. That means it's 7. It's going to be 13 days before he, is arraigned, goes to court. And instead of shutting his fucking pie hole, he's running his fucking pie hole. Now, when Roger Stone was arrested, guess what? There was a court order. He was not allowed to talk to the media or go on social media and talk. Why isn't James Comey gagged, silenced? Because this is about politics, folks. It's not about law and order. It's about fucking politics. The man is a fucking disgrace. He's a criminal. And in my opinion, he's a traitor. He should have got the Roger Stone Trump treatment with full auto weapons pointed at him and his family. Now you ask yourself, every January 6th protester that was not an FBI agent. Oh, by the way, there was over 250 FBI agents on January 6th. Did you know that? They have now admitted it. The number is out. I think it's 274. Over 250 FBI agents were at the Capitol. I didn't know there were that many people fucking total. They were pushing people. They were breaking windows. Yeah, there were agents provocateur there, folks. Any of these government agents, they're fucking scum. The Capitol Police, scum. Do you think it was just the FBI or do you think the CIA was there? Right. How about the Drug Enforcement Agency? How about the IRS? How many other fucking goony ass feds were there? That's right, folks. Full auto weapons pointed at peaceful Americans in their homes, pointing guns at their children, at their wives, at their husbands. No single person that day did anything that threatened our republic. You know what threatens our republic? People in positions of authority using intelligence agencies to lie and undermine the President of the United States. That's dangerous. Fuck all of these people, literally. Don't be nice, folks. You cannot be nice to criminals. That just tells them you're weak. It's time to stand up to these fucking people. Don't do anything violent, dangerous, harmful. Stand up to them and tell them what you fucking think. If everyone's scared and cowering, guess what? A bully loves that. A fucking bully loves that. And I did my bully speech this morning. I fucking hate bullies. The moment you turn your back, the moment you cower, the moment you don't stand up for yourself, the bully wins. And then they get worse. Mr. Uman, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel on this Friday, free for all? And it's Dr. 762. And he asked the question, at what point does the tolerance become intolerable? That is a great question. That's a great question. Are we being forced to tolerate beyond limit? No. No. You see, the limit is when we're done being tolerant. The limit is when they become intolerable. So what I have here is the Declaration of Independence. And I'm going to read from you what happened to the people in the United States, or rather the colonial states. Here we go. One moment. Okay, let's just start right here. Men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to the ends It is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, aka, well, we can tolerate that shit. And accordingly, all experience hath shewn that mankind are more disposed to suffer, be tolerant, while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object, to enslave us, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, intolerable behavior, it is their right, the people's right, it is their duty, the people's duty, to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. It's right there in the Declaration of Independence. Now, how long does it take to get from tolerable bullshit to intolerable bullshit, which is the limit, the line in the sand? 1775, a goofy, nerdy colonial named Abraham Lincoln was writing articles in the newspaper complaining about the British, that the people were sick and tired of their shit, that they'd had enough of the taxes, that they didn't like being dicked with. 51 years later, they wrote the Declaration of Independence. 51 years. Now, in 1775, they were already sick of it. They were already tired of it, but they were still tolerating it. And it was enough to complain in a newspaper. And you know the English knew the newspaper, knew where it was printed, and probably knew exactly who the fuck was writing it. 51 years more bullshit. So when you asked, when does tolerance become intolerable, right? What is the line? What is the limit? Well, I have to say this. We've been putting up with a lot of shit from fucking government my whole life. 55 years. And I have to say that technology makes being a fucking tyrant all the more easy because they can use technology, super advanced weapons that we're not allowed to have, but the government can have. They have super technology with the form of computers to mass surveillance us, violate our privacy, dick with us, threaten us, screw with us. So their ability to move into a tyrannical position is much faster and more powerful. And to silence and quell dissent, they scare the shit out of everybody. They threaten them, just like Dick Blumenthal. Dick Blumenthal, the senator, says, what goes around comes around, right? Meaning, right, you talk shit, they're going to come after you. They're going to threaten you. They're going to bring down the guns. At some point, people are going to say, that's it, we're done. That's it, we're done. Something interesting happened having to do with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Now, a few weeks ago, it was the Department of Defense and the Secretary of Defense. And then it got changed to the Department of War and the Secretary of War. And just a couple days ago, it was revealed that Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, called all of his flag grade officers from the Pentagon and abroad and says, everyone is going to meet me at Quantico, Virginia, Marine Base, Quantico, Virginia. I guess they're going to have a talk. Well, a general shared his thoughts, his historical reminiscence, and he tweeted, put on X, that it was fascinating that Hitler gathered all of his generals, all of his officer staff, his corps, and had them renounce their allegiance to the Weimar Republic and announce their allegiance to the Fuhrer. That's when Hitler went from being Chancellor to the Fuhrer. Now, am I hinting that Trump is going to tell his officers, his flag grade officers, that's generals and admirals, is he going to tell them, hey, look, the Constitution is cooked, it's done, and this is what's going on, right? I'm declaring the Constitution is fully suspended, and I want you people to swear allegiance to me. I really doubt it, but Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, made an affirmative recognition of that. He's like, that's interesting. Something like that. I thought, wow, that's an interesting response to something that's frightening. But are they scaring people? Are they confusing people? The answer to both those questions is yes. People are scared. People are confused. People are wondering. People are curious. The problem we have that we've been describing as preppers, patriots, Americans, is that government is out of control. Government spending, government regulation, government enforcement of the laws against the people, and government's inaction and inability to hold itself accountable. Our enemies, our sworn enemies, and our covert enemies lie to us, take advantage of us, steal from us. By the way, allegedly, the Trump administration is going to release all of the records pertaining to the amount of money that was sent to Ukraine by the Biden administration. The response was, this is going to make Congress look really bad and people will be screaming for arrests. Fuck, we're screaming for arrests now. Wow. Remember, folks, we have an out-of-control country, and people are so fucking stupid, they will chug-a-lug Tylenol to protest Trump and RFK Jr. Please, nobody, and I'm being very genuine, please do not tell liberal idiots that Trump said, do not jump off bridges, because they just might do the opposite of what Trump says. So do not lie and say Trump said do not jump off bridges, because they'll probably turn around and fucking do it because they're that insane and stupid. No wonder Washington, D.C. thinks they can just do whatever the fuck they want. And it was 274 plainclothes agents provocateurs with the FBI. Just got a message there. All right, Mr. Uman, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel on this Free for All Friday? And it's Madara Achia. Says conventional warfare is all they got left. I wish I knew how you were meaning that. Conventional warfare? No, they've got weather warfare. They've got financial warfare. They got psychological warfare. They got medical warfare. They have germ warfare. They have chemical warfare. They have nuclear warfare. They have social warfare, racial warfare, religious warfare. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of different ways that these fucking clowns divide us and get us fighting each other. So, yeah, if you could clarify the statement there, Madara, I would really appreciate it. But we may end up, when people get tired of throwing insults, that's when they start lobbing bullets. Right? When they get tired of trying to convince somebody to give up their rationality and just obey, they end up resorting to violence, physical violence. The cowards in Washington, D.C. will not do their dirty work their own. Elected dumb fucks in D.C., state capitals, and even City Hall will hide inside their offices and have the police do their fucking dirty work for them. They need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable. Some dumb see you next Tuesday in Florida actually said a man who was caught in a park, a public park, had his pants down, his dick out, and was jerking off in front of children. Let him go. No arrest. That's not breaking the law. That's not criminal. Just like Jasmine Crockett says, committing a crime doesn't make one a criminal. This is where we're at, folks. The lunacy of these people. And then they send some jackass, jackbooted fucking thug who just goes, I'm just following my orders. I feel like beating some heads today. They send them out to start fucking knocking people in the heads. Where's the common fucking sense? Right? Where's the common sense? Tell me it's not partisan. Okay. Mr. Uman, let's find another great topic. This is fun. I love Fridays. Folks, get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. We got Badass Diving Frog says, John, Rutro, you want to go down this road, huh? Erica Kirk, widowed wife of Charlie Kirk, recently slain Christian man, Christian evangelist type, guy who was willing to meet with the stupidest fucking people and debate their points to help them see the light. Erica Kirk seems to have a somewhat tainted past with Trump and his organizations. Also, there are ties to Mossad. Well, let's just talk about her somewhat tainted past. I believe Erica Kirk is wanted in a couple of European countries. Am I right? Did I read that right? This is what is being alleged. I have not seen the arrest warrants for her, but apparently she is wanted for her participation in connection to sex trafficking. Her affiliation with Trump is that she was a beauty pageant contest winner under Trump's beauty contest organizations that he owned and managed. And as far as ties to Mossad, I haven't read that. I get so disgusted reading this shit because if it wasn't true at all, then somebody could deny it. But I haven't heard anyone deny that she is involved or was involved and is wanted or was in trouble in Europe. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but no one's fucking denying it. It just came out. And I still don't understand. If she loved him that much, if she was so in love with him, and I know that people deal with grief in different ways, and I'm not picking at her too much, but how can you, if you're that in love with someone and they were killed so tragically, dry your eyes and go on his radio show and laugh and yuck it up with guests? If you have someone in your life that you love, folks, it's bizarre to me. The whole fucking thing is just bizarre. I feel bad. I feel bad for the kids. I feel bad for her. I feel, what the fuck is going on, right? What is going on? What is going on? Yeah. John, you don't go on TV a week after they just watch their spouse get killed. That's my opinion. You know, if you love someone that much, how can you go on television? And, you know, the other thing that I saw was when she was standing on stage and they got fucking sparklers and shit going off everywhere at her just assassinated husband's, you can call it a revival, you can call it a memorial. I just thought, what kind of fucking stage production is this? Right? You would think it would be more respectful and reverent Right? These are supposed to be Christians. This isn't a fucking Disney show. Right? It's not Charlie Kirk on ice. He just got iced. To me, it seemed disrespectful and disingenuous. What the fuck do I know, though? Really? I know they want to project that she's strong and independent and blah, but a fucking blah. But really, to me, it's a fucking turnoff. To be honest and frank, I mean, so many hundreds of thousands of people showed up. And instead of a lot of people said a lot of great, nice things. I'm not trying to take away from those parts of it. But the fucking sparklers. Once again, is this a fucking Disney production? Just bizarre. Literally. Maybe you saw it. Maybe you noticed it. Maybe you thought no one else is screaming and yelling about it. It must be fine. I've never been to a funeral that has fucking fireworks and sparkles. Ooman says, Nikki always points out that Ozzy, as in Ozzy Osbourne, died months ago, and Sharon, as in Sharon Stone, hasn't gone on media since because she is really grieving the loss. And Sharon Stone is I don't like her. She's kind of entertaining because, she's a fucking dork and she's loud and she's an idiot and she says stupid shit. But yeah, I think she actually honestly really loved Ozzy. Which itself is fucking bizarre because he's a fucking ding dong. It's like there was a shell of a man who liked to bite the heads off of a fucking bat, and who knows what else he bit the head off of. But yeah, Sharon Stone has been out of the media. It's very, very interesting. Like I said, I know people grieve differently. But there ought to be, there ought to be a fucking line that doesn't get crossed. And they crossed the fuck out of it, in my opinion. It looked more like just bullshit. Now, I'm going to change directions a little bit here. Thank you, Nikki and Mr. Uman. This is typical Democrat injustice. I'm going to take us right back over to this part of the country that is what is driving us to the intolerable side, to the limit, the fucking line, and that is no accountability. Does everyone remember who the district attorney Alvin Bragg is? Yeah, he did the fraud bullshit case against Trump, recall? Well, he is actually funded by George Soros. And he has let a violent, pro-abortion criminal walk free after being caught on camera brutally assaulting a pro-life woman. And this wasn't a race thing because the person who got assaulted, the pro-life person, was black. Alvin Bragg is black. You'd think that, right, he'd be neutral on it. But no, it didn't have to do with race. It had to do with politics. So Alvin Bragg, district attorney, he's an attorney, he's a lawyer, he's a fucking scumbag, let somebody who just attacked on camera someone else, let him walk scot-free. Expect more Democrat judges, lawyers, prosecutors, law enforcement, expect more of these anti-American people to allow crime. And it will not stop, folks. It will not stop until they are punished with being fired, disbarred, impeached, and fucking sued. And I'd love to see them charged with crimes. Letting someone go who obviously committed crime with lots of evidence, I think, is a fucking crime. Just like that bitch who let that 14-time loser of a criminal go. He gets on a train, a commuter train, and stabbed a white woman in the neck, who then said, I got that white woman. I got that white woman. She's still sitting on the bench. One, she's not an attorney. She doesn't have a Juris Doctorate. And she's a fucking judge. She shows inexcusably bad decision and moral character. She's still there. People are fucking dying. And this is what Democrats do, folks. This is what rhino Republicans are allowing. This is what the judiciary is allowing their own people to do. This is what bar associations are allowing lawyers to do. They're all scum. Did you know that in colonial America prior to the Revolution, there were many areas, some of them whole states, colonial states, being an attorney was not allowed. It was illegal to be an attorney. Attorneys, lawyers, barristers were not allowed. That's why they had what's called the common law. You don't need a fucking attorney. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need a barrister. You don't need to interpret code. The fucking law was simple. It was laid out simple so a common person, the average person, could understand the difference between right and wrong. Now we have fucking judges and lawyers just letting people go because of, well, they can make up some bullshit $5 words, some plastic banana horse crap, and just fucking let people go, and they don't get in trouble. Tarring and feathering would be a start. The gallows would be where it ends. You want crime to stop, folks? Public executions. You want the government to behave and do its fucking job? Public executions. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. C says, you don't need a degree to be a magistrate. You are 100% correct. And then writes, I'd rather live under the mafia rule. I agree with you. When I grew up in a rural county in California, we had a judge, Judge Howard. I discovered when I was in high school that he was a magistrate. He was not a lawyer. He did a fairly good job. A friend of mine, or a couple of friends of mine, found him in a ditch one day or one night. He'd been driving drunk, wrecked his car, got out and was laying on the ground. They picked up Judge Howard and drove him home. Yeah. You don't have to be a lawyer, but you would think that in this day and age, there would be a little more jurisprudence with respect to knowing and understanding the law and the application of rules and laws and something about ethics. Now, with respect to your comments, see, about living under mafia rule, do most Americans know, do you guys know that in Japan, mafia is allowed to exist? It is part of Japanese culture. It's part of it. It's accepted in Japanese culture. The most famous of which is the Yakuza. Japanese mafia called the Yakuza. They are honorable. The same way I believe Italian mafia is honorable. Other mafia in America? No. I don't like drug cartels and that mafia, organized crime, if you will. I don't care for the the purple mafia, but the Italian mafia, I can respect them because there's honor there. Now, interestingly, about, I don't know, was it somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago, a woman in Japan sued the Yakuza in court. She paid protection money, insurance, right? She paid the Yakuza protection money, and she was not protected. And as a consequence of Yakuza not doing their job and protecting her, she lost. She was injured. She suffered a financial loss. And the judge ordered Yakuza to pay her for the loss because they failed to live up to their end of the fucking bargain. And you know what? The fucking Yakuza paid because they have honor. I'd rather live under mafia rule because it at least has honor. It has rules you can count on. And it doesn't matter if someone fucks up on the street or someone fucks up in the organization. They get their hand smashed, their knees broke, or a fucking bullet through the head. It doesn't matter who does. You don't fuck up. It's a much better system, in my opinion, folks, than what we have now because you can't count on it. There's no honor amongst thieves. Oh, wait, you guys, we've heard that, right? There's no honor among thieves. Well, who do we have in charge that has no fucking honor? The judiciary, law enforcement, the legislature, the executive branches. Now in Florida here, we got a lot of people that are very honorable and take their oaths seriously and live up to them. And they serve the public very well. And I'm proud to be in a state that has that. Other places in America do not. But you can tell, you know exactly who does not have any fucking honor. Typically, they've got the D in front of their name. But when you're paid to lie, no, let me rephrase that. When you're paid to lie very well, when you're paid very well to lie, there's no morality there, there's no ethics there, and there's no honor there. Fucking attorneys. I've known a couple of good attorneys, folks. I've had some great conversations with some interesting attorneys. If you want to look up an attorney, look up Larry B. Kraft. Larry B. Kraft. He was practicing in the 1990s, and he had the Reliance defense. I spoke with Larry, nice guy. He was trying to get people out of trouble with the IRS. Joe Alfred Eisen Jr., interesting lawyer. Met him a number of times, twice, I think, and then had lots of conversations. And, we started the United States Bar Association. A Marine attorney that I knew, last name King, very respectable fellow. I've seen some good judges and lawyers, folks. I don't mean to just put everyone in the same fucking thing, but there's just so much corruption and filth out there. It's hard to grant, blanket association and go, oh, the cops are great. No, they're not. There are good cops. There are good judges. There are good lawyers. There's good governors, right? But there's so many that are just fucking rotten. Enough of my bullshit, literally. Let's move on. Let's change subjects a little bit. Oh, yeah. How about this one? Terrorist threats continue, folks. Encouraging murder is still happening. Yep, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. But that's not going to stop the Democrats. They're actually happy with it. They even told us they're fucking happy with terrorist threats and murder. So at a riot fest in Chicago, what a great name for that, communist, Democrat, leftist types beheaded an effigy of Musk and they beheaded the Musk doll and disemboweled a Trump effigy. Effigy is a mannequin, a toy, something made to look like someone else. Leftists are encouraging others with this activity. They're encouraging the stupidest, most aggressive, violent, and pushed over the edge fruitcakes out there. With this kind of activity, the police that are allowing this, the district attorneys that are not prosecuting this, the judges that are just letting people walk in the court and out the back, more violence is coming because they're encouraging murder, and murder is going to happen. And they know it. Whether it's the people in government or the people on the street, by holding these sorts of functions, they know it. And they hope that someone is going to be successful in killing Elon Musk or killing Trump or killing the vice president or killing Tulsi Gabbard or Pete Hegseth or anyone else. They're perfectly, happily satisfied with it. Look, I do not want Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton dead. I do not want Barack Hussein Barry Soetoro Obama or his husband, Michelle Obama, dead. I do not want Nancy Pelosi or hammer in the ass Paul Pelosi dead. I don't want Chuck Schumer and his very ugly masculine wife dead. I don't want people dead. I want these people to live a very, very long life. A very long life. I want them to live to be 180. So they have to look at themselves in the mirror every day and wonder every day when they're going to get to die, because they're miserable, fucking terrible people. Now, me, folks, you may say, oh, John, I see you every day. You're a miserable fuck. To the contrary, I am a very happy man, a very satisfied man, a very accomplished man. But I have a mission left, and that is to wake people up to their liberty and freedom and protect ourselves, those we love, our children, our children's children, and to leave this world a better place than when I was born and when I discovered it's not such a good place. That's my mission. So that's why I'm here and all this grouchy bullshit. But I have people that love to be around me, love to work with me, love to spend time with me, just like you guys do. But these fucking Democrats, nobody likes them. People are afraid of them. People are fucking disgusted with them. They live this false bullshit lie of a life. And they hate themselves and they hate everyone else. Why else would you want to steal someone's freedom, steal someone's income, steal someone's property and give it to others if they didn't have hate already in their fucking hearts? How about if they had love, kindness, compassion, empathy, and they let people be free and let them keep their fucking money, and the government protected people and made sure crime was low, and they made sure that ethics were followed, and that government people who had power and authority exercised that authority with the greatest of prudence. And then when crime was found, it would be taken care of quickly, swiftly, intelligently to protect the world. Wouldn't that be great if that's what government was? Here we are. Anyways, that was my rant of the moment. Oh man, we've got just a couple minutes left on this Friday free for all. Who's up next? We've got Hill Cracker Stacker, silver up around 46. Let's end Friday on some positive news. Today's silver was almost up 2%. So what, 2%? What's 2%? Well, 2% in one day is a big deal. I'm sorry, $2. It was almost up $2 at one point. It's towards the end of the day, there's a lot of profit taking, Wall Street, blah, blah, blah. But, 4.5%, 4%, whatever. $2. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Now, $46. It almost got to 46 on the spot price. The futures price almost hit 47. So silver closed at 46.36. Gold closed at 37.89. It went back up over 3,800. Came back down again. The gold-silver ratio is 81.7 to 1. There's some specific information. But here's the deal, folks. Back in 2016, when I was living in the fifth wheel, trying to get my life together, I started putting money into silver to invest money for my family, and it was inexpensive. The first purchase I made was, I think, $17.89 plus premium, and it's tripled now. That's a number of years, right? It's 8 years tripled. Yeah, that's quite a bit. But just in the last 2 years, it's doubled. The point is we've got problems with our economy, problems with our currency. And once again, it's because government has failed us. Government has failed us. They've allowed themselves to write bad checks, max out credit cards, put it over here, promise your money to pay that back, and then do it again, writing more bad checks. So the checks are being paid back with money that they print on their own. It'd be like you having a printing press and just printing off dollar bills for yourself all day and not having it be illegal. But government can counterfeit currency, and they do. And that's what they continue to do. But yeah, silver's up. So for those who have invested for themselves and their families, and they've got wealth sitting there. If you haven't done anything with it, it just sits there and you don't lose an ounce. But relative to the currency, it goes up in value. There's a sickness out there, folks, economically. There's a sickness. Now, we're going to go through big changes. I don't know what Trump has up his fucking sleeve. I don't know how far Trump is willing to go. I don't think he is I don't think he's as moral and ethical as I need him to be. But he may be, or I should say, while he's not the president that I want, he's probably the president we deserve and we fucking need at this time. Who knows what's going to happen to our currency, to our economy, to our infrastructure, to the enemies of our country, to our allies. I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I am a prepper. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. It's why I have a plan. It's why I have lots of ammunition. It's why I have lots of self-defense. It's why I have lots of plans to deal with this. Because I believe that government's going to continue to do exactly what I'm afraid it's going to do. And that is fail the country, fail the people, fail to live up to their oaths, and fail to do anything good until they have exhausted all efforts to fuck things up every other way. And then, and only then, they might try to do something correctly. I think that we're in for a hell of a ride. Are you prepared, folks? Trump could go off and just totally become 100% everything we ever dreamed a president could be, or he could go down a fucking dark path and become the next Adolf Hitler. How would you know? The people who originally elected Hitler as chancellor, they had no idea what was going to happen or where it was going to go. And by the way, the history books fucking lie. Your teachers lied. Television lies. Movies lie. Documentaries lie about everything that led up to Germany, led up to the Nazis, led up to the 30s, led up to World War II. It's fucking propaganda and bullshit. If you can't get the fucking truth about 9/11, what makes you think we're getting the fucking truth about something that happened almost 100 years ago? The descent, apparently, of Germany into madness. Or was Germany doing everything it could to save Germany? And there was evil out there that was so evil that they had to do what they did. And then even then, what they did has been lied about. Wow. That's a fucking rabbit hole and a half. Everything is a fucking lie, folks. The only truth that you have is what you know in here and in here. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. God bless America. Semper Fi. And I'll see all of you guys Sunday night live. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be right here in the Prepared Mind bunker. And we'll be talking about what is going on, folks. I don't have any really bad feelings about this weekend. You know what that tells me? I should be fucking concerned. Because it's always quietest. Right? Calm before the storm. Things are calm. Too calm.